Hi friends, welcome back to Sheena's Homestead. Today I am making you a really yummy dish. I know we did one not that long ago on how to use all of our squash and our zucchini, but I have found the ultimate squash zucchini recipe. You could even eat this as a whole dinner. Just add a little bit of protein and you're good to go. But come along with me today and I'm going to show you how I make this delicious dish that uses up a lot of good zucchini and your family's going to love it. Please don't mind the mess in my kitchen. We are mid-harvest and I am canning every single day. Not the can, but canning as in preserving our food. So I have lots of things going. In fact, you probably hear the pot boiling in the back. That pot has some peach salsa in it. It's really good stuff. We've got another tree that is ready for harvest. So I'm just trying to plug away and put things up on the shelf as quickly as I can. But in the meantime, I am making dinner now and I wanted to show you how to use this zucchini up. So I would say that this recipe is kind of like a zucchini squash. So not the polenta like we made it before, although you can add a little bit of that if you would like it to soak up some of the juices, but this is a phenomenal dish. So let me show you how I get started. So first things first, if you have a mandolin, this is the best for this recipe. Otherwise, you might be chopping for a little bit, which is still okay. I promise you it is worth it. I like to slice these pretty thin. Actually, that's a little too thin, so you wanna make sure that you're wearing a protective glove if you're gonna go all the way down to the end of your zucchini. I am not today. I have plenty, so I'm going to give the end to my chickens. We'll be very thankful. Just move over a little bit. So when you're done with the mandolin, you just kind of stack these little guys up and I cut them in half again. It makes it easier to eat in bite-sized pieces when it comes time to put them in the casserole. Okay, so I've got the butter started on the stove. I just have 4 tablespoons of butter. I cut up half an onion, or you could use just a smaller onion. So we are gonna get this stuff into the pan, and then I'll show you what else we need. Oh. Some freeze-dried mushrooms. You can use fresh mushrooms. So I am going to put about 8 ounces worth of mushrooms in. I really like my freeze-dried mushrooms for this recipe in particular because they are a dry product and they are going to soak up the moisture that they're in. So they're going to suck up all of that zucchini liquid that comes off of them, and it just makes them all that much better. Okay, so now we're gonna do just a pinch of salt. And I have some frozen corn, but if you have fresh corn available to you, it is really good in this recipe. So I'm just eyeballing it, but I would use 1.5 cups. We're gonna get all those things to cook and kind of marry in flavor before we move on to our next step. If you find that your recipe is just a little dry with only 4 tablespoons of butter, you can add a couple tablespoons of olive oil. We're going to give that a couple minutes here just to cook. So just taking a closer look here. You can see how it's starting to cook down. It smells absolutely divine. All right, so this is all done cooking and absorbing those juices. and I'm going to spray this dish. This dish works really well for me. I imagine you could do a 9x9 glass pan, but do make sure that you spray it because we are going to be using cheese and it does get stuck to the bottom. So first things first, just gonna release some of that heat. The original recipe does call for mozzarella cheese, but I don't have any today. So I am going to sub with some Parmesan cheese and a little bit of Mexican blend. So I'm going to grate that in while our dish is still nice and hot. And it truly just melts right in. Want to keep it moving around so it doesn't stick to the bottom of your pan here. We are going to transfer it shortly, but just until then, we're going to add some of our Mexican cheese. So I'm adding about 4 ounces here. Don't leave anything behind. You're gonna like this recipe so much, you're gonna wish you scraped every bit into the pan. All right. Okay, last but not least, we are going to beat 4 eggs. Make sure you get them all nice and mixed up there. And then we are going to pour it into our mixture here. And then you can use your fork, kind of swirl it around, get everything nice and incorporated. Just like that. And then we're going to top it off with a little bit more cheese. Handle on the top of my cheese grater is broken, so I have to hold on to it on the sides, and it's not that fun. And sprinkle a little bit of polenta on the top. Last but not least, we're going to add basil and oregano. You can sprinkle it on the top and then pop it in the oven. And this is ready to go into the oven. We have it set for 375 degrees. We're gonna put it in for 45 minutes, but I always check at the 30-minute mark just to make sure everything is going as planned and that it's not burning. Look at that. Well, friends, I wish you were here to taste and smell this amazing dish with me. It is absolute perfection. I know there's quite a lot of people out there that have negative thoughts and feelings about squash and zucchini. My mom was one of them, but this recipe will absolutely change your mind. I brought it to a barbecue this weekend and my mom wanted to keep the rest of it. So you can make people change their minds if you try this recipe, especially children. My little guy, he doesn't quite love squash, but when I make it this way, he will eat every bite. So I hope you try this yourself, and I hope that your gardens are still abundant and giving you lots of zucchini and squash. Thank you for following along with me today, friends. I hope that you enjoy this recipe when you try it yourself. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you next time on Sheena's Homestead. Bye.